Hey everyone, it's me, Scott Lang.
Mark Stone from Ayala High School.
I know Mark well because when I was back teaching, his bands beat me. So good. If you're not familiar with the Ayala program, it's an iconic program here out west. So let's start with that at Ayala. You've been here how long?
23 years.
23. Okay. So national average, by the way, I was just telling him this. 17% quit after year 3, 33% quit after year 3, and 51% leave after year 5. What made you stay 23 years in the same school?
Well, I opened the school. I opened Ayala, and my first day here, when I got the job, my mantra was, this will be my last high school job. So my goal was to finish my career here.
Obviously the benefit is seeing, the ebb and the flow and control. What's been the harder parts of staying at the same place for 23 years?
I would say not thinking the grass is greener on the other side. You have to plant your own grass and water your own grass.
That's great. Plant your own grass.
That's
water
yours.
It's ours. Plant your own grass. Okay, so you've been at Ayala, phenomenal marching band, good concert band, but you're all by yourself.
Yeah.
How do you do it? 23 years, how do you run a program at this level? You're going to Grand Nationals this year. Your concert bands are out of this world. You've won more regionals than you can shake a stick at. How do you do it, one guy?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. I work a lot. I've got great staff. I employ probably 12 to 15 ancillary staff most of the time. They're all walk-on coaches hired by the Booster Club. So I'm very fortunate to have that, but it's a lot.
So it's an obstacle you just have to plan and build around.
You just have to work for it.
Okay, so you're going to Indy this year, going to Grand Nationals. You go every 3 years, right? And you've been very successful there, obviously, and people know the Ayala name now. But is marching band different in California than it is in Indianapolis?
Yeah. I think different locales take on a different style.
Now, for those who don't know, we associate our national platform with Indianapolis and Bands of America or USSBA, but those
Texas.
are East Coast and Middle. The thing is, marching band's different, and there's some phenomenal bands out in California, but the geography of being 1,000 miles away, people don't always get to see all the incredible things that are happening out here. So tell me how band is different in California than that might be in a Texas or in an Indianapolis or Atlanta and Cobb County.
Well, I think, especially in the circuit I participate in, which is Western Band Association, we tend to be much more aggressive. Our percussion ensembles are much more aggressive. They have much denser books. I think our guards tend to be a little bit more complex in their work.
Yeah.
And I think at times you can say the bands are brighter and more aggressive from sound production, whereas in Texas or Indiana, you're going to have a more concert band sound.
And you don't play in a dome ever?
No.
No, so everything's outside
Well,
here.
we used to go to Flagstaff. When BOA had a regional there,
Right.
I'd still be going back just to get my kids in a dome once a year.
Right.
But they don't do that anymore. So we're pretty stuck. Matter of fact, we've done our last 3 years, our championships were done in the rain.
Okay, so we know that there's a little more density in terms of writing, both visually and choreographically and musically. We know it tends to be a little more aggressive, but other than that, do you see a difference between California and anywhere else in terms of anything else? You were talking a little bit about California takes the indoor arts more seriously.
Oh yeah, yeah. California's takes, especially indoor percussion. I think the color guard is pretty popular everywhere, but especially in percussion. Right now, this year WGI, I believe it's half the world level medals came to within a 10-mile radius of here.
Wow.
A third of the world medals came to Chino Hills, the city of Chino Hills.
Which is like small, 3 high schools and a third of the world.
Actually, it's
measure.
2 high schools. Yeah, it's about 50,000 people.
Unbelievable. So, okay, directors you admire.
That's a good question. You asked me that, and I was thinking about that. And off the top of my head, Amanda Drinkwater or Jay Webb or Richard Saucedo are easy to say, but I think the ones I respect, I admire also for a different way.
Different reasons.
Are the people, the band directors who are making it work in a podunk town with 30 horns and 4 percussion. And
Give someone a shout out.
Um,
Who's someone in California that just took on the job that no one else wanted?
Jim Bunselmeyer at Del Nudo, my sister's school. He's an amazing music teacher. He teaches music every day. And because of his situation, because of the school, the community, his feeder program. He doesn't have a huge program, but he's a very fine
Yeah.
music teacher.
Okay, so last but not least, when you talk about where you want this program to be in 2, 3, 5, 10 years, what do you see for the future of not only Ayala, but maybe music education?
I'm actually quite satisfied right now with my program and our success. I personally am interested in increasing the performance level of my stage ensembles, my symphonic band and concert band, my jazz ensemble. As far as music education, in California, I'm not real optimistic. I think if we haven't reached the bottom, we're pretty much close to the bottom due to the recent ACLU lawsuits and different situations here and lack of support. It's very, very challenging. And we're starting to see a loss of the middle class of the bands. The big successful bands tend to be staying big and successful, and the medium-sized bands are starting to drop off to little bands, and a lot of little bands are disappearing.
Okay, so if you had one of those directors, a young teacher, who's hanging on for dear life, and they're watching this webisode, and maybe they're in a little town, because we always talk about the big successful bands, but great teaching is happening all over this country in cafeteriums, in auditoriums, and multi-purpose rooms. What advice would you give a young or a new teacher who wants to build an Ayala, who wants to make that investment? What would you tell them?
Well, first thing is you said 51% leave after 5 years. So that means they're not even becoming good yet. And
Right.
to be honest, it took me 10 years to learn what I didn't know.
Right.
And then I had to learn. So stick with it. You got to stick with it. It's not easy.
Tenacity.
I would say, right about 7 to 9 years. In California, we get limited. We can't, they won't transfer in more than 8 years. So I'd say right about 7 years, you start looking around and start deciding, is this going to be what I want it to be? There's other schools, there's other districts.
Right.
Some things that you can't control is your feeder program and your administration, district and local. Make a decision. Can I build my dream here? If not, move.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
And I agree. You got to find a place that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Different people have different skill sets, and
Well,
rich
and
neighborhoods, poor neighborhoods, big, small, rural, urban. Everyone's got a different personality. You got to find what's a good fit
You
for
have
you.
to fit what fits for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I would assume some band directors wouldn't want what I have.
Right.
I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, I work a lot of hours and a lot of stress.
And there's a lot of pressure because it's in an area where there's an expectation. Sage words from a wise man. If you've not had a chance to check out Ayala, you may want to YouTube them and check them out right now because they're the real deal, and you'll be seeing them in Indy this coming fall.
Yep. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
You're a good man. You're a good man. Take care, everyone. Happy
Thank you.
Teacher Appreciation Week. Bye.